Hello and welcome from Budapest. This is Hungary Reports, starting off Public Media M1's foreign language news hour. I'm Árpád Szőci with the latest from Hungary and the Carpathian Basin. Great that you can be with us. The number of troops now guarding Hungary's southern border doubled on Monday. Authorities say that's in order to deal with the increasing migrant pressure as thousands more head through the Balkans towards Hungary. Just this past weekend, more than 500 were caught trying to enter the country illegally.
Police measures had to be taken against about 150 illegal border crossers daily in the recent past. Footage from the news portal Híradó show illegal immigrants starting their way towards the border in groups after dark. Many of them are convinced that Hungary should let them enter. This would be the European Union. Hungary has to open its borders, this outraged man said. The biggest pressure in Hungary is on the counties of Csongrád and Bács-Kiskun, but numbers have increased almost everywhere. Compared to 2018, more than 2.5 times more illegal immigrants arrived in Hungary in 2019. There was a week in December when the number of people trying to get in reached 1,400.
2020.
Measures had to be taken against 803 people between the 1st and 5th of January. This is rather significant. Due to this, the Ministry of Defense decided on strengthening border protection. Double the number of soldiers will guard the southern border starting Monday. More forces are available in army barracks in case the number of guards needs to be increased because of migration pressure, László Garas said. Stopping illegal migration is still the biggest challenge, the State Secretary for Economic Diplomacy at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade noted. Some countries either let illegal immigrants enter, don't even try to hold them back, or they simply can't cope with the challenge, the State Secretary for Economic Diplomacy said. Levente Magyar added that 2019 was a tough year because Hungary was continuously under attack for its standpoint on being against illegal migration. He added that the situation will probably be the same this year.
And this year, Hungary has also sent police officers to northern Macedonia and Serbia in order to help local authorities guard their borders. The Hungarian government says that increased migrational pressure has made it necessary to increase the size of the Hungarian contingent there. Hungarian police have been helping patrol the Serbian and northern Macedonian borders since 2016. Hungary's healthcare system is getting a complete medical checkup. First of all, hospitals and specialist clinics are getting their debts paid for by the Ministry of Health. And for those institutions where money's not owed, the cash will be used to modernize facilities. More than 110 million euros will be distributed in the coming weeks.
The government decided on the reconstruction of the healthcare system. The first step of this will be paying off debts of hospitals and clinics. Where there isn't a need for this, the extra money can be spent on modernization. For example, the National Institute of Oncology didn't accumulate debts, but the number of patients has increased in the past couple of years, and they handled more and more complicated cases, which cost 4,600,000 more euros annually than the amount provided by the government. The government will now also pay off this debt. The Director General of the institution said that they will spend the extra money on modernization. We would like to replace an 18-year-old SPECT CT for a modern device, get a gynecological ultrasound machine, and imaging diagnostics. We want technical improvements, refurbish old tubes, supply pipelines, and the electrical system for which we often can't get the extra funding, Csaba polgár said. The Ministry of Human Resources said that the goal is the establishment of a 21st century supply system. The package of measures consists of 3 parts. One regards hospital services for inpatients, the other about outpatient care, and the third is financing extremely modern diagnostic activities, Miklós Kásler said. Healthcare institutions will get the money in the following weeks.
The Ministry of Justice has concluded its investigation in the grisly murder of a family in Győr by the father. In December, a convicted man allowed visiting rights entered the home of his family where he allegedly killed his son and daughter. He had been serving time for attempting to kill his wife, but was granted parole because of good behavior. The man later committed suicide. The Minister of Justice said in a Facebook video that in the spring, the ministry will be tightening its rules so that no one will be paroled who was imprisoned for attempted murder. Furthermore, the judge will also be allowed to decide on parental supervision and care of the child or children.
In 2020, the number of victim support centers of the ministry will be doubled. Around 1.8 million euros will be spent on development. Further information on plans for 2020 to help victims will be available shortly. Our goal is that offenders receive strict sentences and that all Hungarian citizens who fall victim receive proper protection.
Hungarian communities in the West and the mother country enjoy an ever closer relationship. The government says much of the credit goes to the Kőrösi Csoma Sándor program, named after the famous Hungarian adventurer and linguist. It enables qualified young people from Hungary to go to often distant communities to offer language instruction and cultural programs, among others. Today, the latest batch of eager volunteers were sent off to countries like Brazil and Australia to help people there retain their Hungarian roots.
Hungarians living in the diaspora in Sydney learn Hungarian dances and songs as well as folk games. These clips were recorded last year in Australia. My name is Amy. I'm 10 years old. The best thing about the camp was that I could hang out with my friends, that I saw a lot of animals, and that I could learn, this little girl said. Hungarians living abroad get to know the intricacies of the Hungarian language as well as the culture of the Carpathian Basin at similar traditional camps that thrive with the help of volunteers. The government's Kőrösi Csoma Sándor program is sending 36 individuals on scholarships to the Southern Hemisphere this year. At the inaugural event of this year's program, the Ministerial Commissioner for National Policy spoke of how those on scholarship are fulfilling a kind of ambassador-like role. They are cultural diplomats in a sense who pass on their knowledge to Hungarians living in the diaspora. From 2010 onwards, opportunities have arisen to focus on the diaspora, namely in terms of attention as well as monetary sources, Péter Szilágyi said. Péter Szilágyi added, over the past decades, the communities that those on scholarship visited have gotten smaller. This is precisely why the Kőrösi Csoma Sándor program is needed, as those working for the program have a great role in the lives of Hungarians living abroad, most especially in terms of preserving their Hungarian identities.
Monday saw the celebration of Epiphany in Christian communities around the world. And in Hungary, it was commemorated in communities across the country.
A moment of shared prayer began the new year at this family home in Mosonmagyaróvár. The Blessed Karol Wojtyła Friendship Center in Kecskemét was blessed as well on the Feast of Epiphany. According to Roman Catholic customs, during the blessing of a house, the priest writes the initials of the three kings on the upper doorpost of the home, as well as the year, in order to protect those living there from all that is evil. Epiphany, or Three Kings Day, is one of the most ancient Christian feasts. This day is tied to the arrival of the Magi, the baptism of Jesus, as well as the miracle at the wedding of Canaan. The St. Florian Church in Budapest was packed on Epiphany. Following the liturgy, the faithful jointly processed towards Bottyán Square, where the Archbishop blessed the adjacent Danube River. Epiphany marks the end of the Christmas season. The carnival season will now commence as of this day, lasting up until Shrove Tuesday, which will be held on February the 25th this year.
An exhibition on the history of the cities of Híradó County has opened in Hajdú-Böszörmény in eastern Hungary. It shows more than 200 years of history of 6 regional cities. It features weapons, apparel of the times, and also explains how the cities functioned. It also profiles the life of one of the region's most prominent personalities, Gábor Síje, who was an MP and the last head of the region. One of the best ways to get an overall view of Lake Balaton is to go to the lookout area at Balaton-Olmadi. Built at the turn of the last century, it's near the center of town. From there, you get a great view of the entire area as well as much of the rest of the lake. The lookout area is open all year round and viewing is free. And that's all for now. But don't forget, you can catch Hungary Reports every night after the 11 p.m. news and online as always. Please stick around now if you can for our new shows in German, Russian, and Chinese. Thanks very much for watching and viszontlátásra.